The story that I'm going to tell you this afternoon took place a long, long time ago. So long ago, in fact, that at that time, the animals were able to control the weather. They were able to talk to each other. The wolves were able to talk to the bears, and the bears were able to talk to the beavers, okay? And it's a story about the porcupine and the beaver. And you all told me earlier that you knew what porcupine was in Semelgech. Do you remember what it was? Outa. Outa. Okay. What is it? What is a beaver in Semelgech? Soal. Okay. Soal. Okay. Beavers are at home in water. They could do anything in the water. They could stay under for a long, long period of time. Do you think a porcupine could do that?
No.
No. In fact, they don't like water. You're right, they might drown. What about beavers? Can they climb a tree?
No.
No. But a porcupine could, couldn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. One day, the porcupine was walking along the edge of a lake. He was very happy. He wasn't in the water because he didn't like the water. And he walked along, and then he saw a beaver. He noticed the beaver was swimming in the water, swimming happily, because the beaver's at home in the water. And well, the beaver would dive, and he would come up, and he would lift his tail out of the water and bang the surface of the water with his tail. How many of you have heard it? Okay, good, good. They love doing that. They do that when, you know, there's danger coming, to warn the other beavers. You know, they'll hit the surface of the water with their tail, and everybody goes under and they hide. Okay, the porcupine hollered out to the beaver, "Come here, I want to talk to you." You know, the beaver just kept on swimming, and the porcupine persisted. "Come on, I want to talk to you. It's such a nice day." And the beaver came along, got out of the water, and they sat and talked. And then the beaver talked to the porcupine. "You should play in my playground. I have a lot of fun in the water. I know how to swim. I can dive. I can teach you how to do that." And the porcupine said, "No, no, I don't like the water. I'm afraid of the water." And so finally, the porcupine gave in. He listened to the beaver. And the beaver made made an agreement. "I will take you into the water. You will hold on to my shoulders." Okay? And when you want to take a breath, you just scratch my back, and then I'll come up again. Okay? Remember, the porcupine doesn't like water. But he agreed to do this because the beaver promised. Remember that? And they were friends. And friends don't hurt each other. Okay? So the porcupine climbed on the beaver's back, held his shoulders, probably right around his neck, and then the beaver swam away, went underwater, and as soon as he got underwater, the porcupine scratched his back. The beaver came up right away. Happened very fast, you know, because he's not used to it, never been underwater before. Okay? He can't hold his breath very long. And, okay, he was a bit frightened the first time. And they talked it over. "Yes, this may be fun. Let's try it again." So the beaver went under. The porcupine was able to hold his breath just a little bit longer. And then he scratched, and then the beaver came up right away. Third time, they did it again. The beaver stayed under a little bit longer this time. In fact, quite a while. And the porcupine was scratching away, and finally the beaver came up. "Oh, did you like that?" The porcupine, "Not really, because that was a little bit too long for me." Now, the beaver thought to himself, "I'm going to play a trick on my friend." And so he dove again. The porcupine held on tightly, and down went the beaver. Went very, very deep. In fact, he stayed on the bottom for a long time. And the porcupine, in the meantime, was scratching his back. He wanted to get out, wanted to get out. And the beaver just, nothing. Finally, the scratching grew weaker and weaker, and then finally it stopped. What do you suppose happened? Okay, The beaver thought he did. He came up to the surface, and it looked like the porcupine was dead. So he took him to a small island, put him on there, and then left, went merrily playing in his playground again. Remember, he was very happy in the water. The porcupine just laid there, looked as if he were dead. The sun was shining very brightly, it was getting very hot, and it kind of revived him. He still had a lot of water inside, and and he was stuck. He didn't want to go near the water again. And he had to get from the island to the shore of the lake. How was he going to do it? He doesn't like water. He's not going to go near the water anymore.
Boat?
Not a boat, no. Okay, I'll tell you what he did. He was very, very tired, very, very sick, and very, very depressed. He started to cry. Okay? And while he cried, he sang this special song. And what do you notice when you're crying, if you're crying for a long period of time? Your eye, the tears come out of your eyes? Your eyes get puffy? Something else happens.
They get one. Get a one.
No?
Friends come to nose.
Your nose starts running, yes. That's disgusting. Okay, yes, your nose starts running. So he would sing, and his nose would run, and then he'd clean it. No, we don't do that nowadays. We use a hanky, right?
Yeah.
And he'd throw the mucus in the water. And he did so much of it. And while he was singing, I don't know the song, but when it was told to me when I was your age, I forgot it. You know why? Because I didn't really pay attention. I wish I had. But my uncle is going to teach me the song as well as my granddad. Okay? So maybe I'll sing it to you later. But this song, I don't know the tune, but I know some of the words. Okay? In some Elgach, it's Ligi Gwil Git Lacha. Ligi Gwil Git Lacha. That means, the skies are burning. And I've seen my aunt do it. Okay, and she dances around and sings around like this. And pretty soon night came. And then there was thunder, well, not thunder, but lightning in the north. Okay, remember I said it earlier, these animals at this time were able to control the weather. They could make it sun, they could make it rain, make it blow. And this particular song that the porcupine was singing made the north wind come. Okay? And he kept singing the song, and into the night the skies cleared up, the stars came out, and it got very cold. And the harder the wind blew, the colder it got. So it was getting very, very cold. What do you suppose happened if it gets very, very cold? Matt? The water starts to freeze. Do you remember all the mucus he was getting rid of too?
Yeah.
That and the ice. And he kept singing, got colder and colder and colder. And then the ice started to form on the lake. It became very thick. It became thick enough so that he was able to walk across. Okay? Then he got to the shore of the lake. But he was still very sick. Okay? When the weather changed again, he met up with the beaver. Because the beaver thought he had died. They were happy. The beaver thought they were still friends. Okay? Now, you also remember at the beginning of the story, I said that the beaver was not at home in a tree, but the porcupine was. Okay? So the porcupine told him, well, I've played in your playground. You should come and play in mine. Okay? So the porcupine climbed a tree right up to the very top, the last branch. He grabbed the branch by his teeth and then swung around. And then he'd let go. Of course, there's a very high tree, it'd come down on the branches and he'd land at the bottom. But while he was falling, he would shout out, Intabalach! Intabalach! Okay, what does that mean? Okay, it means it's a container of moss. Do you know what moss is?
Yeah.
If you fall in moss, soft, okay? Very soft, okay? And the beaver couldn't climb the tree, so he showed him again. Climbed right up to the very top, got the last branch, started swinging back and forth, and then let go. And he'd bounce all the way down the tips of the branches. Don't try it, okay? And as he's going down, he would shout, "Intabalach, intabalach." Do you think you could say that? Intabalach. Very good, good. Okay, he talked to the beavers. See how easy it was? I climbed to the top of the tree. I fell down. Nothing happened. Okay? So do you think you could do that? The beaver said, "No, I can't climb the tree. I can't climb a tree." So the porcupine told him, "Well, you climb on my back, and I'll climb the tree for you." Okay? And so he did. Climbed right to the very top, got to that last branch, and the beaver grabbed it with his teeth, and the porcupine said, you know, after he swung around, the beaver let go, and he'd shout, "Intabalach, intabalach." Okay, the beaver came down the tips of the branches and right down into this nice little hole of moss. Nothing happened. Hey, that was great fun. We'll try it again. They did it 3 more times. Okay? 3 more times. The beaver liked it so much. The 4th time, climbed up to the very top. The beaver got to the last branch, put it in his teeth, and started swinging around. When the beaver let go, the porcupine didn't say "Intabalach." He said, "Intalaplop, intalaplop." What is lop? Very close. Rocks. Instead of landing in the moss, he'll land in the rocks. Okay? Intalaplop, intalaplop. Okay? And the beaver came down the edge of the branches, but he missed the moss and landed in the rocks. What do you suppose happened?
He got hurt.
He got hurt. Got very, very hurt. Almost as bad, almost the same condition as the porcupine was when he was half drowned. Okay? And then the porcupine walked away. And to this day, the beaver and the porcupine are no longer friends. Okay? They don't even talk to each other anymore. Okay? Now, every time someone tells a story, it has a meaning. Okay? And I think this story has 2 meanings. Okay? What are friends for? To help each other, not to hurt them, not to play dirty tricks on them. And the other one is that you don't tell the story, you don't sing the song that I told you about unless you wanted very, very cold weather to come.